What if I told you the Yellowstone saga is not over, and Beth and Rip are about to rewrite everything we thought we knew about the Dutton legacy? Leaked spoilers, behind-the-scenes whispers, and a brand new trailer reveal that this spin-off isn't just another Western. It's a whole new beast. And the love story? It's about to get even more dangerous. Let's dive into everything we know so far about the Yellowstone, Beth and Rip spin-off coming in 2025. When Yellowstone ended, it didn't just say goodbye. It left a hole, a silence, a question. What happens to love that's built in fire when the war finally ends? Because Rip Wheeler and Beth Dutton were never just a romance. They were the storm in Yellowstone's sky, the match and the wildfire. The one thing you couldn't look away from, even when everything else was falling apart. So when they rode off into the sunset, it felt like the closing of a book we weren't ready to put down. But now that book has a sequel. And not just any sequel. This new spin-off series isn't going to be about cattle brands, bunkhouse brawls, or even land wars in Montana. No, this time it's about something deeper. This is the story of two people who have survived betrayal, violence, and loss, who have burned everything in their path. And now they're trying to actually live. But nothing comes easy for Beth and Rip. The leaked trailer confirms what fans feared and secretly hoped. Trouble has followed them to Texas. Yes, Texas. That dusty 7,000-acre ranch Rip was sent to manage is no longer just a job. It's home. But building a life from scratch means facing more than just drought and broken fences. There are old blood feuds, rival ranchers, and whispers of secrets buried deep under that 46's soil. And Beth? She isn't just there to play house. She's making moves, dangerous, brilliant moves. Because Beth Dutton doesn't rest. She plots. She schemes. She wins. According to early leaks, Beth sets her sights on transforming this new ranch into a powerhouse of its own. One that could rival the Dutton Empire back in Montana. That means business deals, backroom politics, and making enemies fast. And Rip? He's doing what he's always done, keeping the chaos from swallowing them whole. But even Rip has a past. And this new world, it's coming back with a vengeance. One of the biggest spoilers to leak so far? A new character, someone tied to Rip's early years, is entering the picture. Someone who knows things Rip has never shared with Beth. And it's not just talk. Reports say this character threatens the life they've built, before it even has a chance to take root. Add to that the rumor that Beth is planning to adopt a child, and we're looking at a storyline that's not just emotional. It's explosive. And before you think this is just a soft, slow family drama, don't forget who we're talking about. These two have burned barns, blackmailed senators, and left bodies in their wake. Do you really think the fire's out? The truth is, this spin-off is about to bring Yellowstone back to life in a whole new form. Not as a political drama, not as a story of land ownership and dynasties, but as a raw, emotional, and dangerous love story. One that's still evolving. One that's about to be tested. And, judging by these early reveals, not everyone makes it out alive. Texas was supposed to be a new beginning. A place where Beth and Rip could finally breathe. Far from the chaos of Montana and the shadows of the Dutton name. But it turns out there's no such thing as a clean start. Not for them. Because the moment Beth Dutton steps onto new land, someone is bound to feel threatened. And according to the leaks, that's exactly what's happening. Beth didn't just arrive in Texas quietly. She came in with ambition, with fire, with a plan to take over the local cattle business and inject the kind of ruthless business tactics only she can pull off. And while Rip is focused on the land, the animals, and keeping things running like a real cowboy does, Beth is making waves. Big waves. The kind that attract attention, the wrong kind. In the upcoming spin-off, Beth's power moves will rattle the foundation of Texas ranching politics. She's stepping on the toes of some very dangerous people, and they don't take kindly to outsiders, especially not ones who don't play by the rules. One of the most chilling spoilers? A secret meeting between local ranchers, where Beth's name is brought up, not as a partner, but as a threat to be neutralized. They don't want negotiations. They want control. And Rip? He knows what's coming. He's seen what happens when people try to come after Beth. But this time, it's different. This time, there's no Yellowstone Ranch backing them up. No John Dutton pulling strings from behind. No desk. No army of ranch hands ready to ride at dawn. It's just them alone. And that's where things get even more intense. Because the trailer hints at sabotage, burned property, slashed fences, and something even darker. A shadowy figure watching their ranch from afar, always just out of reach. Some fans think it might be someone from Rip's past. Others believe it's a new enemy entirely, sent by the powerful Texas cattle families to force Beth and Rip out. But one thing's for sure, this enemy isn't afraid to play dirty. Meanwhile, Rip is struggling with more than just threats to the ranch. Leaked lines from the script suggest he's haunted by the ghosts he tried to leave behind in Montana. Names we haven't heard in years. Walker, Lloyd, even Jamie. All mentioned in connection with a secret Rip never told Beth. Could it be a past crime? A deal gone wrong? Something about his early years with the Duttons that still holds power over him? We don't know yet, but we do know this. It's tearing him up, and Beth senses it. That's the heartbreaking twist in this spin-off. For once, Beth and Rip are trying to live a normal life. But their version of normal is already breaking at the seams, and they're both trying to protect each other from different things. Rip wants to shield Beth from the rising tension in the local ranching scene. Beth wants to keep Rip from falling back into the dark, violent world he once belonged to. But secrets like these, they never stay buried. What's even more shocking is the rumor that Beth might be pregnant. Yes, pregnant. This was never part of their plan. Beth made it clear years ago that her ability to have children was taken from her. But this rumor suggests a medical twist. An experimental treatment maybe, or a misdiagnosis from years ago. And if it's true, then everything changes. Everything, because love isn't the only thing they're fighting for now. They're fighting for a future they never thought was possible. And as the walls close in, from rival ranchers, buried secrets, and the ghosts of Yellowstone, it's no longer just about survival. It's about legacy. And if you think Beth Dutton is going to let anyone threaten that, then you've clearly forgotten who she is. Just when things seem on the verge of collapsing around Beth and Rip, a familiar face arrives at the ranch, Carter. But this isn't the same lost, angry kid we met back in Yellowstone. No, this is a young man now. Hardened, matured, and carrying the weight of the Dutton legacy whether he likes it or not. And Beth? She doesn't know how to handle it. Because as much as she wants to love Carter like a son, she never really believed she could be anyone's mother. Not truly. But here's the twist. Carter's return isn't just emotional. It's explosive. According to leaked casting notes, Carter shows up after getting into serious trouble back in Montana. Trouble that may have followed him to Texas. Rip isn't thrilled. Not because he doesn't care about Carter, he does, but because he knows what that kind of baggage brings. And right now, they can't afford more enemies. Not when the land is being watched. Not when Beth is walking a tightrope with ruthless businessmen. Not when they're already stretched thin trying to keep everything together. The trailer reportedly shows a brutal confrontation between Rip and Carter. A heated fight that spills years of buried resentment and emotion. Carter wants to prove himself. He wants to show he belongs. But Rip, still wrestling with his own demons, isn't ready to trust easily. And Beth? She's caught in the middle, trying to hold this fragile family together with bare hands and a bleeding heart. And then the news drops. A baby. Whether the pregnancy rumor is true or not, Carter finds out first. And his reaction? It shakes Beth to her core. Because instead of joy, there's fear. Fear that this new life, this new baby will erase him. That he'll be pushed aside once again. What he doesn't know is that Beth has already decided something powerful. If she is truly becoming a mother, then Carter will always be her first child, no matter what blood says. But family isn't the only thing knocking at their door. New documents surface. Old deeds, land disputes, and a mysterious letter addressed to Rip from someone we've never heard of before. The letter is tied to Rip's past, maybe even his birth family, something he's never spoken about, something he thought was buried forever. And now it's here, demanding attention, demanding answers. Leaked spoilers say this letter will unlock a storyline that redefines everything we thought we knew. Beth, of course, dives into it. She wants to know who this person is and why they waited so long to reach out. But as she digs deeper, she uncovers more than just Rip's origins. She uncovers a connection between this unknown family and the very Texas land they now call home, which means their new beginning might be built on someone else's unfinished war. At the same time, whispers start to spread. People in town begin calling them the new Duttons. And Beth hates it. She doesn't want that name, doesn't want that curse. But what they're building, it feels like Yellowstone. The fire, the loyalty, the bloodshed. The loyalty to land that demands sacrifice. And now Carter has to decide. Does he want to be part of this legacy? Or does he walk away before it consumes him, like it did so many Duttons before him? This isn't just a spin-off. It's a reckoning. A story of blood and love, of survival and legacy. And as the shadows close in, one thing becomes terrifyingly clear. The past is not done with them. Just when Beth thinks she can finally take a breath, that stranger shows up. A man from Rip's past. Quiet. Eyes like stone. No one knows where he's been all these years. But the way Rip freezes when he sees him says it all. This isn't just some old friend. This man carries secrets. The kind that rip open wounds so deep, they never truly healed. His arrival isn't random. He's come with a message and a warning. He claims to be Rip's blood. A half-brother. Same father. Different life. But unlike Rip, this man didn't grow up brutalized by the world. He thrived in it. Made his fortune not through hard work, but through control, deception, and dirty deals. Now he wants something more than reconciliation. He wants a piece of the land. Not just because it's valuable, but because he believes it's rightfully his. The Texas ranch Beth and Rip built sits on top of what used to be his family's claim, and he's here to take it back no matter the cost. Beth doesn't trust him from the moment he opens his mouth. Her instincts are screaming. She's seen men like this before. Charming on the outside, venom beneath. But Rip? Rip is torn. He's a man who has always felt alone in the world. And now someone shows up, offering the possibility of family. It rattles him, shakes him more than he'll admit. Beth sees it. She feels it. And for the first time in years, she's afraid she might lose Rip. Not to death, but to doubt. The stranger doesn't come alone either. He's connected, powerful, ruthless. And suddenly, Beth finds herself in meetings with oil executives, land developers, and lawyers she never invited. Offers start pouring in. To buy the land, to partner, to expand. It's all smoke. A distraction. Because what they really want is control. And if Beth won't sell, they'll take it anyway. Rip's brother knows exactly how to play this game. He's done it before. And this time, he's not walking away without a war. But Beth is no fool. And she's not alone. She starts digging. Public records. Private histories. Land deeds that go back generations. And that's when she discovers the horrifying truth. The land they bought? It's cursed. Not in the fairy tale sense, but in the real, brutal history of bloodshed and betrayal. The ranch was stolen decades ago, torn from the hands of a family that disappeared without a trace. And now, their descendants are back. And they're willing to burn it all down to reclaim what was taken. And if that wasn't enough, Beth finds something buried. Something physical. A metal lockbox hidden deep in the barn behind a false wall. Inside, photographs, letters, and one revolver. Old, rusted, but clearly used. The photographs are of Rick. Young, scared, bruised. But it's not the bruises that make Beth's blood run cold. It's the handwriting on the back of one photo. He's mine now. I'll make him a man. The implication is sickening, and it confirms Beth's worst fears. Rip's demons weren't just emotional, they were violent. And this man claiming to be his brother, he may have been part of it. But Beth doesn't tell Rip right away. Not yet. She needs proof. She needs leverage. Because whatever's coming, it's bigger than just family. It's about legacy, about power, about who gets to build and who gets destroyed. The battle lines are being drawn, not with guns yet, but with land rights, with whispered threats in boardrooms. But we know where this is heading. This is Yellowstone. And sooner or later, the blood will spill. Beth always knew peace was temporary. She tasted it just enough to feel what life could have been. But now, everything she's built with Rip teeters on the edge of collapse. The stranger, the land, the ghosts. They're all converging. And Beth's old instincts are kicking in. She's not just fighting to protect a ranch anymore. She's fighting for the man she loves, for the only life she's ever believed in. And she knows now, this war won't be won with contracts or clever words. It'll be won the old way, with grit, fury, and fire. The silence breaks. When one of their cattle is found dead near the fence line, not wolves, not rustlers. This was a message clean, deliberate, personal. And beside the animal's body, a photograph. The same one Beth found in the lockbox. Rip is a child. Someone's telling her, we know. Someone wants her afraid. But Beth Dutton doesn't rattle. Not like that. Not anymore. She goes straight to Rip. Shows him the photo. The letter. The name. And Rip breaks. Not with rage, but with silence. I thought I left that part of me buried, he says. Beth places her hand on his. You didn't, she whispers. But it'll help you finish it. That night, Rip walks outside and doesn't return for hours. When he does, his shirt is soaked in sweat and blood. But not his. He's been marking lines in the dirt, hammering new stakes into the ground, redefining what's his. This is war now. But it's also healing. Rip's done hiding. He's ready to reclaim the parts of himself that were stolen. And Beth, she goes nuclear. She doesn't just play defense. She plays offense, calls in every favor, opens every locked door, threatens every soul that dares whisper about her land. This ranch isn't for sale. Not to oil, not to blood, not to God himself. And if anyone tries to take it, they'll face the wrath of a woman who's lost everything before and lived to fight again. Meanwhile, Carter finds a gun. Old, scarred, one bullet left, hidden beneath a hay bale. He doesn't tell Beth. Doesn't tell Rip. Not yet. He's not a kid anymore. He knows something's coming. And when it does, he'll be ready. Carter's transformation has begun. No longer just a boy in their shadow. He's about to become a Wheeler in his own right. The only question is, will he survive it? Then comes the fire. Literally. One night, flames tear through the east side of the ranch. The barn, livestock, screams, the night sky glowing blood red. And in the middle of it all, Beth, soaked in ash, eyes wide, jaw clenched. She knows exactly who did this. And now, it's not just business, not even revenge. It's personal. Someone wants her gone. wants her broken. But they forgot who Beth Dutton really is. And the final twist? It doesn't come from the enemy. It comes from inside.